Grand rising, love and immunity, beloved. It's the law of one. This was another beautiful manna that was given on to me this morning. All things will be added onto you as life is delivered or life is risen within its nation. Life is universal, which means that it is eternal. Life is universal, which means it's eternal, which means that it is, okay, it's stating right here, it says eternal. It's an eternal substance, a immortal source, and a mortal nature, which means that it is its own existence, its own creator, and its own creation, which means that no matter what we do with it, this is the most amazing thing. No matter what we do with it, it cannot return back onto its void. When we get this understanding, when we get this spirit of truth, and this spirit of truth is amongst us, you know how Jesus said, and the truth set him free. This spirit is a omnipotent one. Truth is a omnipotent. It means, truth means that, you know how it says the devil is a lie? We cannot lie to truth, because truth is its own existence, its own creator, and its own creation. It's itself, I am. Anything that we take energy and we call it in any other name, it becomes its own living God. The thing is that if our elemental cellular body creates that, you know how once my elemental cellular body believed me to be her, I had to become this image and likeliness, that power and principality, and it governed me. Yes, sir. And I was held and bound in bondage and in a stronghold to sustaining myself under this kingdom. Okay? Even if everything that she believed in was wrong, even if everything she believed in was to write me out of the book of life, I was bound, bondaged, enslaved, held in captivity and servitude to this artificial intelligence. Okay? That is what it means when it says, I will revisit you in that third and fourth generation. It's this kingdom right here speaking on the behalf of the Trinity of life itself, I am. Speaking on the behalf of its own universal, eternal, genetic covenant. It wanted me to speak about our genetics this morning. Okay? Genetically, why we are present. Genetically, why we are here. See, this part of our existence is an eternal covenant with itself. Okay? Without itself, it told us this in the scripture of Isaiah 43:10. Ye are my witness, saith the Lord, and my servant whom I have chosen, that ye may know and believe me and understand that I am he. Before me there is no God formed, neither shall there be after me. Okay, so without this covenant, without this right, without this universal law, which is life, I came so that you may have life, there is no such thing as life. We don't have it. No body, no life, or no existence can be here. It says, neither shall there be after me. Neither shall there be after me. There will be nothing. Before me there was no God formed. Whew, thank you, Spirit. Thank you so much. And after me there shall be none. This law of one gives everybody it's a guarantee. It gives everybody a guarantee to be able to be here, present in this conscious state of being, which in our case, if we want to call ourselves this, it would be what you would call the human. But if we want to call ourselves this, it would be life's existence. This kingdom cannot operate inside of this world. This reality can operate in the world that God said He's given us dominion over. Because the mind that is using itself as this mind, you can't serve two masters, beloveds. There's only one. Jesus knew this the best. I and my Father are one. There's only one energy that can control life and create it into a form. So the atom, the molecule, and the matter. We see that we need the atom, which is the spirit, to give the source to make a substance, and a substance to make a nature. They all are one. They're all under one accord. They're all one law. They're all one truth. There's all one spirit that creates everything. It turns it into a form. Everything is itself. At every present moment, everything is itself. And in the spirit of truth, you cannot be upon any other spirit but that spirit of truth. In the spirit of death, though I may have to walk in the valley of the shadow of death, you cannot be in any other spirit but that spirit of death. Okay? The law of one. The law of one is the most truthful spirit that we can understand when it comes to why we are here, why we have been given the authority, why we have been given the guarantee to be on this earth, and it's the law of one. And many people have taken that law, and God wanted me to speak about segregation, duality, and they have split it, which means that it's no longer itself anymore, because we can only operate in the law of one. This is what it means in the biblical story. You can't serve two masters. So I can't be her and my cell at the same time. I can't be a reality and my cell at the same time. Because what creates me is all just one thing. We know this is this. Without this, these two couldn't be. It's always just this one thing that makes all things possible. And when we turn that all things possible into two, like we turn this right here into this, and inside of this we have many, many, say in my Father's kingdom there are many, many mansions. Okay, these mansions represent one thing, and that's called a truth. Okay, but our only truth is life. We have no other truth but life. Life creates everything. Life can create death. Life can create sickness. Life can create sin. This is why I told you, you cannot call me in any other name. And the one who cannot call it in any other name, because you are genetically the one is sent. If I wouldn't have came as the one who sent me in the book of John is telling you, then you would not be guilty. It's the whole biblical story is really trying to lead you back to this one truth. And in that one truth, you can't kill, you can't steal, and you can't destroy. Because that one truth is the omnipotent one. It's the source. It's the substance. It's the nature. It's like I am the existence, and through my existence, I am the creator, and through my existence, I am the creation. Because of me, all things are made possible. Because I am, all things are made possible. Without me, there's nothing possible. Then everything is impossible. Here, everything is impossible. Because we take energy, which is life's existence, and why we are here is because of this body, and we turn it against itself. So this is where you see death. And though I may have to walk in the valley of the shadow of death, many people believe inside of their realities that they're walking inside of success, greatness, money, favor, sustainability. But all we are truly walking in at every present moment is inside of this body, and what lives inside of us is life's existence. Okay? The power and principality is in this world. I am against the rulers and the authorities of this dark world, because they send those powers and principalities, which are prophecies, into the heavenly realm. And because my existence, my life, and my image and likeliness is itself one thing, law, the law of life, they turn that law of life into something that will have to fulfill life's destiny. But life's destiny is only our body. So you don't want to be a sacrificial lamb. Remember in the book of Isaiah, he said, what did he say? You made offerings. I will repay you and your forefathers because you made offerings. See, a lot of people don't understand that their bloodline is the royalty. It's not the last name of your bloodline. It's the elemental cellular body, which is the fruit that you can produce with your bloodline. Okay? Some people wanted to produce kingdoms like Pharaoh. Pharaoh wanted to produce a world where he can govern his own kingdom. But the only government we have is the body. So Pharaoh made an offering with his body, which is his whole genetic makeup, which is his mortality, immortality, and eternity. And he sold it. Remember, what does a man profit if he gains this whole world, but he loses his soul? So every pharaoh, every ruler and authority in this reality made an offering with a real genetic royalty, with a spirit. And the spirit has to go through a gestation. It's just like in our mother's womb. Is so beautiful, beloved. This understanding is so beautiful. And this one, God wanted me to talk about unconditional love, because he says, I lavish unfailing love. Unfailing. I'm talking, he's saying eternal, immortal love. Like, I will go through undying love, long suffering on the behalf of who I am. To just return back one into me, to return back that body to life's existence for myself. You as this royalty. You as this royalty. Not you as this pharaoh spirit. Not you as the human, but you as the genetic makeup, the blood. You as the blood. Not you as the generational, or the ancestral, but you as the root to why you are an ancestral being, which is a human. You're the human because what came before you. Remember, it says it's already been written. So you're the human because of what came before you. So we say the spirit existence comes before life, and life comes before the form. Existence comes before life, and life comes before the form. So what came before you, the head, I am the beginning, is always the one. It's always the royalty. This is not royal. Nothing operating under a conformed mind is royal. It's only that operating in the beginning as the head, as the truth. Tell him I am sent me. Is the ascension, is the head, and can never be the tail. It doesn't matter what happens inside of this reality to this. Because the making is always going to be here eternally, which means forevermore. The first will never be the last. Because in order to be the first or to be the last, you have to be the life and the creation and the existence of it. So it's still just one, the law of one. When you get this, to tell your mind to believe in a such thing as duality or two is literally to turn that one into two, which means that you're not either one of them anymore. You're void. You're put one nation under. Now, because you don't want to be life, you're automatically death. Though I may have to walk in the valley of the shadow of death. Many people don't understand that. And some people's minds will literally tell you that we have to go through these two kingdoms in order to recognize them both. The only way that death is created, beloveds, the only way that sickness is created, the only way that darkness is created, the only way that evil is created is to tell your mind, which is your cells, which is to call energy in another name. Other than that, it's just the law of one. I came to give you life. This is what it means: by your fruit you will be known. If you want to know genetically what a person's elemental, which is their royalty, is, all you have to do is follow what they create inside of your world, in their body of life's existence. Are they creating a reality? Or are they creating just that one source? And that means eternity. Because a reality is something that is not real. It's something that you have to offer. In the book of Isaiah, he was telling you, as it has already been written before me. Remember, before this could even be an understanding, a knowledge, or a reality, your truth first had to be established. It had to be written. It had to become itself, its own image and likeness. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done as in heaven, so on earth. So before we can even believe that we're this, or have an understanding or believe that this is our truth, something had to create it first. Something had to exist for it first. Something had to form it first. So this right here is not what we would consider royalty. It's not what we consider royalty, because royalty cannot create a kingdom in which what came before it is not represented. What came before it, what can exist for it, what can live for it, and what can form it, and not put that as the head, and then make the tail have more authority, more leadership, more understanding, and more knowledge, when this cannot even be itself. Because without it being itself, I am, it can't be anything. And that's what Isaiah 43:10 is stating. Isaiah 43:10 is stating, ye are my witness. How can you believe me as this, when I'm already a witness and a testimony of that in which I already am, above anything in this world? What does a man profit if he gains this whole world, but he loses the one that came on his behalf to be above the world, to be a creator of that world, to be in existence, to be a life form, and to be the image of that life's existence? Ye are my witness, saith the Lord. How can you be perpetrating me to be this? How can you be asking me to believe I am this? How can you be forcing me? Because before me, there was no God. Before me, there was no existence. Before me, there was no life. Before me, there was no body. So how can you digress me into being nothing? Though I may have to walk in the valley of the shadow of death. And many people don't understand this. You made offerings with something that I could have just been life too. I could have been eternal, immortal life forevermore to this genetic makeup. That living right could have always just been me in the presence of the Lord. Stand still and know that I am your God. Then I would have walked spiritually as life's existence for my body. It would have just been me. I am. Like how I know this, being an internal being. It's not her. She's what kills, steals, and destroys me. Living up to her standards is death. But living up to who I am is mortality, immortality, and eternity. It's telling you right here in Isaiah, the whole book of Isaiah is about the prophecy fulfilling itself, beloveds. It's about the royal ascension of life. You know how the biblical stories are saying, I will revisit you. I will not return back to you void. For those of you who loved me, I will revisit you for this inequity. I will revisit you for what lives inside of you. I will return back onto you for who I am. So if you love me, you're still going to be this genetic makeup when I go through that complete circle of life. And if you hated me, you're going to be living in genetically, you're going to be living in perish. Your, what is it called? He said, your substance, your source, and your nature will no longer be able to produce my fruit. Because this fruit is life. The first seed is sowed was the cell. And we all know a cell is energy. And we all know what's given this body its image and likeness is the cellular element, which is the Holy Spirit. Do not honor the flesh. Because when we make an offering with our cellular elemental existence, our body now has to produce that fruit. A human is a fruit, but our body is the seed, which is the cell of life's existence, which means that as the head, you are the mortal, immortal, and eternal, which is the living God. As the human, you are below it, one nation put under it, which means that you are no longer life, you are death. And though spiritually, which just means eternally, immortally, forevermore, I will walk in the valley of the shadow of death. Okay? And when we go through that complete circle of life and I return back onto myself as just spirit, know thyself and you will know me. Will I return back onto you? Will I return back into you as who I am, as the one who sent me? In this fourth generation, my metamorphosis is like I was stuck in this cocoon for 4 generations, eternally, immortally, and mortally. I was stuck in this cocoon, held in captivity and servitude to whoever sacrificed the body of life's existence. See, many of y'all think that this beautiful blood is an ancestry. No, your blood is just existence. It's only an ancestry in those who made offerings off of it. So remember, these little things represent just life. And our body tells the story of life's existence as the eternal kingdom. So every time a baby was born, you will not return back as my priest. Okay? They fell, one nation under God, if they were not a priest. Okay? The whole book of Hosea, my people, you perish because of lack of this knowledge. If you reject my knowledge, you've rejected my truth. You've rejected my body, which means you've rejected my mortality. You've rejected my cell, which is my life. You've rejected my immortality. And you've rejected my eternity, which is my bloodline. You rejected me being I am my Father one. The one thing that I can only be for you as existence, as life, and as for your body, as your kingdom. You rejected me as a whole. This is where duality fell in. Duality became duality when we said, fuck off life. We reject you. We don't want you to stand as our one image and likeness, which is our truth, which is our covenant, which is our agreement, which is our eternity, our forevermore. So, my people, if you reject me, now I will have to reject all your children's. So every time you use my eternity, my immortality, and my mortality, which is every time you use me as that one thing, every baby that you create will fall one nation under me. It cannot ever return back onto me. It can never be who I am because you rejected this law of one. I am my Father one. Right now, you have people in your reality who tell you this. We can't have light without darkness. If life can create everything, if light creates darkness, why would you need to have darkness? If life creates you first as the body and everything comes after the body, she came after life created the body and then she became a name. Okay? If this already creates everything through one thing, energy creates everything. Energy created this. Energy created this. Energy created this. Energy created you. If this one thing creates everything, why do we need to call it in any other name? When we do that, the next power it turns into, remember it says, the power of life and death is in the tongue. So in the case of the human, we speak life through words. But in the case of the body, we speak life cellularly through the elemental kingdom, through the spirit. Flesh speaks in words, and the word became flesh and made its dwelling. But your body only speaks cellularly as an element, so as spirit. Don't honor the flesh, only honor the spirit. Because this word, remember God says my word, he's saying his word is bond. It can only operate under one authority, and that's life's existence for this body. Okay? A human can speak in many tongues. They can speak in many tongues. Okay, you got to get this. I need you. I'm just letting you ponder on what I'm saying right now. Humans can speak in many tongues, which is many languages. These languages become powers. In the biblical story, and you have to find this one on your own because I don't have access to look it up right now. So in the biblical story, there was a priest, which was a body of life's existence. There was a body that was living inside of this reality. Right now, the body of life's existence is held in captivity and in servitude to these rulers and the authorities. Okay? All they are just mindsets, which are just words. Okay? And the most powerful word that we can speak to anybody right now in this fourth generation is life. But many of y'all don't know what life is because what you have been taught inside of your realities, some nations or some cultures or some races or some sexes, because what segregates us inside of the human is the race, the culture, the sex, the nationality, and the religion. They segregate us because they tell our minds that these powers and principalities is our wisdom, is our knowledge, is our truth, is our understanding. But they're all just indoctrinations. They send those spiritual forces of evil into you. And once they become immortal, mortal, and eternal, they become the living God, the living truth. Then they put you under a spiritual stronghold. I say right here, the stronghold is here. Because when it silences you, all of my life I've been silenced. Okay, because I'm the truth. My genetic makeup is my eternal, my internal, my innate knowledge. It's knowing who I am. Know thyself and you will know me. Okay? So what the spirit of death will do is he'll put a stronghold, he'll put a noose around my neck because he knows my word. See, my word is alive and active. Remember, the power of life and death is in the tongue. And if genetically I'm this, I cannot be silenced. Remember in the book of Isaiah, Isaiah is all about the prophecy. The book of Isaiah is all about the prophecy returning back onto itself. It's all about the prophecy fulfilling its own self. Okay, in the book of Isaiah 65, he said, what did he say? He says, because it's already been written before me, I will not keep silent. See, a lot of people think that the silence lives inside of us not being able to speak. No. The silence does not live inside of us not being able to speak, because the power of man is in the tongue. But the power of the body of a cellular element is in its genetic makeup, which is in the blood. Okay, and if my blood is just one, the element can only do one thing. The atom can only do one thing. It's create life. And the molecule, which is the atom, can only create the molecule. And the molecule can only do one thing. It's be a directive of the atom. So everything that the molecule does after that will create that life's existence into a form. It's just one thing. It's always just doing one thing. It's universal. Once you get this, and it may sound crazy to many of y'all because y'all are living inside of these different realities. And these different realities have you bondaged. Remember, to be bondaged in something is to be held in, imprisoned in it, held in captivity and serving it. Yes, sir, sirs. Yes, sir, masters. I know what you're telling me is the truth. But there's only one truth. In Isaiah 43:10, Isaiah was trying to tell this to us. The whole, thank you so much, Isaiah. The prophecy, because all the biblical story is a prophecy. All it is a elemental cellular body, which is the spirit of itself, telling itself how it's going to return back onto itself. So Jesus told us what was the next evolution of the body of life's existence. He told us what our next becoming would become. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done as in heaven, so on earth. For those who are the priest. Okay? Not for those who made offerings and turned themselves into a different knowledge. What does a man profit if you gain this whole world, but you lose your soul? Okay? My people, you're just going to perish because genetically you don't and no longer carry the memory, or just the elemental cellular body's genetic makeup. Mortality doesn't live in you no more. Immortality doesn't live in you anymore. And eternity does not live in you because you made offerings to create your reality. How do I add a day onto your lifespan? This is what Jesus was saying. I bet you haven't sown a day into my Father's kingdom, but you sown it to Caesar's. You got to give Caesar what belongs to Caesar. Caesar used his whole infinite existence to create a reality when he was already given dominion over the world already that he existed as life's existence in. So his spirit would have walked in his body and only been able to create life's existence. But when he rejected it, my people, if you reject my knowledge, I got to reject you. Genetically, he became the power of what? Death. Though I may have to walk spiritually, which is eternally, immortally in death's existence, until what? Life returns back to fulfill the prophecy. And remember, it says God is going to come back and he's going to take all his children into the heavens. This is that understanding. The only thing that could ever be risen, the only thing that can ever exist is life. And then the body came to be that living truth, to be able to tell you the kingdom of heaven lives within you. The only thing that can ever be chosen, because what came before us lives inside of us, is life's existence. And because life's existence is spirit, royal existence itself, is saying right here, I am he. It's me. Here I am. Before me, no God was formed. There was no form without me. And after I leave you, because you rejected me, there's nothing after me. If I can't be that one thing for you, I can't be nothing. You rejected me. And this world does not understand this because they don't live inside of the elemental cellular body. They live inside of their realities, using the elemental cellular body as an offering. So, whoever created this offered the elemental cellular body to profit that world. What does a man profit if he gains this whole world? But what he used to create that world, he took from his own. The thief comes to kill, steal, and destroy. They destroyed me without a cause. Now I have to restore what I did not steal. If this is our only right to be here on this earth, we have to sow into this kingdom. We have to stay the image and likeness of life's existence. We can't genetically turn ourselves into a species, because then we can't be who we are anymore. He's telling us this in Isaiah 43:10. I'm just telling you, this is like, bro, when this manna came upon me, see, everything is already written. Because remember, the body, all the body is just a walk inside of the cellular elemental kingdom. The body is a walk. It's an evolution of its own self. The body is an evolution of its life's existence. In mankind, you think the body is just like, you think it's an ancestral. You think it's because your mom was here, you gonna be here, and then because you here, your children's gonna be here, and because your children's is here, their children's. No. That's the reality. But the spirit of truth is because this element is here, life can be here. And because this life is here, the body can walk in life's existence on this earth. And many people won't get that understanding. Many people won't be able to comprehend this intelligence. And the saddest part about that is Not because. There's no anything. It's just life. If we call life into any other name, beloveds, we have to fulfill that prophecy. Okay, the thing about fulfilling a prophecy is that life is only going to be one thing, no matter what we conform his mind into. No matter what we conform this cellular elemental body into, it's always going to be existence. It's only going to be able to create life in a form. So in the case of a human, they, instead of creating themselves as who they were, as the I am, which is Isaiah 43:10, ye, right here, you are my witness, my baby, my beloved. Right here, it's all you need to understand. My knowledge is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. I am the Trinity. I am the one law called life. The cellular elemental body. One kingdom, one nation, one existence, one right, one truth, one knowledge, one authority. I am. And when you understand energy, it's just a substance. When you understand blood, it's just a substance. It's just itself. I am. I don't have to be anything else. I know the only thing that I can do with energy is allow it to travel, evolve itself. And that evolution, the first thing it has to create in order to be anything, to take form, and what it's telling us in Isaiah 43:10 is that I first got to be life. I got to be the head of who I am to become a form. I got to acknowledge. I can't reject who I am to become a form. And this is what humans did. They literally just bypassed their whole existence and said, we not you no more. We fuck off existence, fuck off life, fuck off our creator, our creation, fuck off. We don't even, like, as an internal being, I feel so alone inside of my own understanding. It's like I'm of this world, but I'm not in it. Because inside of me, I'm processing life's existence as itself. But in this reality, it got a whole nother knowledge. It's so many knowledges. There's so many trees of good and evil and what right and wrong is and what this should be. And it's so many rulers and authorities inside of this reality. And everyone is trying to hold you in captivity and servitude to these knowledges, to these truths that they created inside of their elemental cellular body. And they're bondaged and trapped in these strongholds. And they will, like, some people will kill you if you don't want to believe that you black. But when we look at the color black, and then we look at my color, am I black? It's people that will literally kill me because I will not live up to their standards, to their rulerships and their authorities. It's literally some people who will stagnate me or povertize me or destroy me. They hated me without a reason. They tried to destroy me without a cause. They didn't love me because I was not of this world. In the book of John, the body of life's existence, which is the higher self, the head, and not the tail, was telling them inside of their own. Remember, this is the Cain mind, and this is the Abel mind. The internal you, the kingdom of heaven within you, is telling you right here in Isaiah 43, beloveds, I'm your witness. I'm your commandment. I'm your testimony. I'm your truth. I'm the spirit. I'm the dominion. I'm the living. I'm the right. I'm the head. I'm the only. In Isaiah 43:10, it's like every day I'm becoming who I am. You know, that commandment that was written in my heart, it was a knowing, an inner knowing in me. You know, like the inner knowing in Moses. You know how Moses wrote the 10 Commandments in stone? Well, that was written before him. See, as we walk in this body of life's existence, as we walk as a cellular elemental kingdom, the body becomes a prophecy. The only ones who are not living in this prophecy are the ones who rejected that knowledge. So that's why they're bondage in Israel. They're trapped inside of these realities, thinking they're creating like Pharaoh. Pharaoh believed he was royal and that he can make his people serve him and build his nation and build his kingdom into this reality that he created in his mind, the conformed mind. But the only kingdom that can create a body, which is a living kingdom, is the cellular elemental kingdom. And in Isaiah 43:10, it's telling me, "You are my witness, my beloveds." Like, I don't know how else to be able to explain this to you, but through who I am. Like, this right here don't even make no sense to me. And as an internal being, this would, like, it would literally drive me crazy at sometimes in my life to save me, O Lord, from the lying tongues and the deceitful lips. To have somebody speak to me in this type of knowledge. And internally, I can only process my own understanding as the one that sent me here. You know, your cell is a memory of this walk. All of our bodies is a understanding of what came before it. This body's understanding is the cell. The cell's understanding is the element. But in this world, you got us going by his story. His story didn't create me. His story is what's been holding me in slavery. His story is what's been holding me in captivity and servitude to knowledges. Surely if you eat from the knowledge of that tree, you're going to die, which has been genetically writing me out of my book of life, keeping me from my own dominion, keeping me from my right to live as a mortal, immortal, and eternal covenant with myself. It's been stealing me. The thief who comes to kill, steal, and destroy me. But when that full circle of life comes back onto itself, beloveds, it's almost impossible for anybody to. This is when judgment comes upon us, beloved. Judgment literally comes upon us. By your fruit, now you will be known. It's not me who's going to tell you about your fruit. It's going to be the spirit of life's existence. It's going to be your own mortality, your own immortality, and your own eternity that's going to either deliver you, revisit you. For those of you who loved me, this will be your inequity. This is how God will rise you. Same thing with Jesus, same thing with everyone is leaving that world. Remember in the book of John, he says, I chose you. See, right now, I'm literally being chosen. I chose you to leave this world behind. It's happening inside of me genetically, spiritually. It's telling me the fruit that I produce, because how I'm walking out of the wilderness. I'm walking out of her right now. I'm just walking in the spirit of the truth. The spirit of the truth is like, come on, baby. Come on. And it's feeding me the manna, like the scriptures, they come. The manna comes, the spirits that came before me. The spirits that prophesied. You know, Jesus was the last prophecy. Jesus was the one who literally said, no more of mine. My bloodlines, which is the royal family, the spiritual family, the elemental kingdoms, the ones that came before the humans, the species, the colors, the sexes, the races, the religions, the ones who came before us, which is the elemental gods. The ones that can only create life into a body and not life into words like you are race or sex or culture, but the ones who give us a right to come onto this earth, not the ones who keep us created in the matrix, okay, but the ones who give us a right to be on this earth, which is to be in this body, to have life's existence, and for them to be the kingdoms. In my Father's house, there are many, many mansions. There are many, many walks of life's existence that came in this body that ascended into the heavens. They came before me. They're already in the heavens. And when I talk about myself, let me just tell you, I come from the head. Okay, when I started, thank you. My heart is just confirming it. When I started this journey, it was when the COVID came, and I was running for my life because death had been released upon this earth because it knew that the Messiah had been risen. And this is going to be hard for many, many people to understand, but it's already been written before me, beloveds. What came before even my body was life. What came before even life was existence. And it's telling you right here, the book of Isaiah already told me, beloveds, in Isaiah 43:10, this message came to me yesterday. It already told me I was delivered. You know, it's the manna that was feeding itself to Moses was already living in him spiritually. The knowledge that he was receiving was already living in his cells as his mind. And his body came as that fruit in your mother's womb, fearfully and wonderfully made. I already knew the plans I had for you because I wrote it in you in stone. Do you know what the cell is? The cell is life's existence. It's the eternal. It cannot return onto a self void. I just am, that I say that I am. If I tell you that's what I am, genetically, I came as that manifestation because what came before me was life's existence. It's already been written. You can't tell me under your ruler and your authority and in your dark world and your realities that I'm not who I am. No, that's not who you are. You're not who I am. But I say I am who I am because genetically, I couldn't be nothing else but who I am. Just like you say you this, and that's who you are. I can't take that from you. You already held in bondage and servitude and in captivity to that understanding. That's your knowledge. That's your truth. But you can't tell me to be something because I already am who I am. Who sent you here? The body of life's existence. I was already genetically told before I came into this form that I was life. And before I came into this knowledge, I had to exist as who I am. This is the whole understanding of Isaiah 43:10. Ye are my witness. Say, ooh, thank you, Spirit. Ooh, thank you, Lord. Ooh, thank you. Whew. Whew, Lord. Ye are my witness, saith the Lord, and my servant who I have chosen, that ye may know and believe me. I believe me. I believe me wholeheartedly. I cannot believe anything outside of who I am. If I could, I would be that. I would be telling you that I was this. But I'm proclaiming who I am. I even wrote a book to be able to express it to you in complete clarity, in complete knowing, in complete knowledge, in complete eternity, immortality, and mortality. I didn't cry, I didn't plead, I didn't beg, I didn't pray, I didn't prophesy, I didn't call to the highest of the highest of the highest of the highest. I didn't blow the trumpet, which is in the spirit of truth, to save me. from this, O Lord. Save me, Lord. Save me, Lord, from this. The law of one. The law of one is just life. If I wouldn't have come as the one who sent me, you couldn't be guilty. Now, if I was to call myself in any other name, then you could say, bitch, get your ass out of here. You a false prophet. You making offerings against my body being life's existence. And you conforming me into this. Then you can say, get the fuck out of here, bitch. I don't want to listen to nothing your ass got to say. It's in one ear and out the other. Then you could say that if I was talking in this knowledge, in this tongue. But see, I'm not talking in anything but existence. On the behalf of my bodies, living right. I'm not trying to prove nobody in this kingdom wrong. By your fruit you are known. If you can kill me because I'm not black, or because you believe I'm black, if you can try to destroy me because you think I'm black, but right here I'm not even what you believe I am, there's something not right in your mind. There's something I should be worrying about. I should be asking God to save me from somebody who can process their own understanding. But they want me to understand that understanding. But you can't even process the understanding that you're trying to force me. I should be, save me, oh Lord. This is how I feel all of my life. I need to be saved, God. Something is not right in this. And it's all a mind. It's all a mind. It's all a cell. It's all a life that is creating this inside of a body that's already a knowledgeable intelligence. And it's making it dumb. It's making it descend and digress into it being a tail when it's already more intelligence than being black, an African American, a citizen, a citizen, a word. And as an internal being, as a body who understands it's a cellular element and not a word like a race or a color or a nationality or religion or whatever, I had to pray every single day to God to save me from this. I prayed. I cried. I bundled up in the every day. Y'all can't understand. My cry became so loud that everything that I ever asked God for became the seed that I sowed. Every cry was a seed nourishing my soil, sowing into my kingdom, my soul. What does a man profit if he gains this whole world? See, as an internal being, the whole book of John, when in the book of John, when it was saying, they hated me before they hated you. So if you came as the one I sent you as, they're going to hate you. And if you're not of their world, they're not going to love you. They only love the people of their world. If you're not from their world, they're not going to love you. And this is going to offend many people because they're going to want to make me believe, oh, but we do love you. We did love you. But love is eternal. It's immortal and it's mortal. Love honors itself as this one law, and it's called life. It's unconditional. It's unfailing. It's undying because it's eternal. It's just like in order to be this body, this cell had to be its own existence. It cannot represent itself as any other knowledge. It has to be its own truth. And that's just life. It can't call itself in any other name. It can't write itself out of the book. and then say, I'm going to create myself into another knowledge. It got to be its own knowledge, and that's life. It got to produce its own fruit, which is life's existence. It got to be its own image and own likeness, which is its internal. The kingdom that lives within you is greater than the one that lives in this world. Because it's the one that lives for you and exists for you. It's the one that gave you dominion over this world, which is the living body, the living truth, which is your mortality, which is your immortality and your eternity. And when it revisits you, beloveds, I will return back as the one who sent me. And then you will be guilty when that spirit returned back onto me, erodes me from this reality. It is literally teaching me who I am. I will visit you for your inequities, for who you are. Who am I? I'm the body of life's existence. I never called myself in any other name. So in that fourth generation, as we are in right now, it's revisiting me for who I am. I will return back as the one who sent me. We all know everybody who sent this body was itself. In the book of Isaiah 43:10, I'm proclaiming myself to be who I am. If I ain't who I am, there ain't nothing before me. I can't be anything else. This is the whole understanding of Hosea. When he was telling me, my people, if you reject me, I can't return back as your priest. I can't return back as something that don't want to say I'm who I am. That's the humans. They refuse to say who they are. They reject it. They honor the flesh against their spirit and anybody. Like as an internal being, in this law, it's against the law. As a spirit, it's my only living right. It's the only reason why I can be on this earth. And they will kill, steal, and destroy that right from itself. So if I am who I say I am, and you don't believe me, life has to save me. Life has to restore everything you stole from me. Because I'm not the false prophet. I am the one that came in the spirit of the truth. I am the one that it chose to leave this world behind. This is the law of one. I came to give you life. And when I return back for your inequities, you become the chosen one. This is how I know when I leave this reality. So does the body of life's existence. I didn't reject who I was, beloveds. It was every ruler and authority in this reality telling me I was not this my whole life. And every day for 41 years, I cried and asked God to save me. How do I know to cry to be saved, beloveds? Like, how do I understand any of the stuff that I know? Because everything was already written before we came into this knowledge. To have a body, you first have to be a cell, which is life. To have life, you first have to be existence. It has to have already came before me. I was already prophesied that on this day, I would be on this live in life's private and confidential existence, which is in my most innermost kingdom, the kingdom of heaven within me, speaking, proclaiming, casting life's existence back onto this earth. My word is bond. It shall not return back void. It's already been paid. The price for me is living cellularly and elementally on this earth, already alive and active. And it says, ask, and it shall be given. I will seek, and I will find it on the behalf of you, my beloved, the body of life's existence. And when I return back and deliver you from all evil, I have chosen you to leave that world behind. And I will come as the one who sent you. I will come as the Father of the Spirit and the truth. And I will have you speak it upon my earth that you have been with me since the beginning. Thank you so much, Spirit. This morning when I woke up, it was about unconditional love. The spirit of unconditional love became one in me. The law of one. There's an alive and active immunity that walks this earth. It breathed life into us. Right now, our blood is in this body is being sustained because of this alive and active immunity. It's called life. I came to give you life, the law of one. And see, that spirit only has one authority, and that's the one it chose. It's telling you right here in Isaiah 43:10, ye are my witness, saith the Lord, and my servant, whom I have chosen. Know thyself and you will know me. I spent my whole life asking why, because I couldn't figure out who I was, because every time I tried to be who you asked me to be, there was someone always competing with me, somebody always jealous, somebody always hating, somebody always trying to be better. And I'm just thinking my whole life, God, I'm just trying to stay above all these attacks, all this abuse, all this pain, all this guilt, all this worry, all this fear, all this punishment, all this neglect. Like my whole life, I ain't trying to be better than you. I don't think I'm better. Like, beloveds, I'm trying to stay alive. I'm trying to not feel this pain no more. I'm trying to heal. I'm trying to not feel that hate. I'm trying to feel good in just being who I am. I'm just trying to believe who I am. I'm just trying to stay not so drained, not so weary. This is my whole life, beloveds. Fighting a battle that never belonged to me. Living up to standards I tried to live up to, because I wanted to believe in you. I wanted to trust in you. I wanted to believe that what you were saying to me was worthy. Without any intent. I didn't have no intent. I didn't have no motive. I'm just trying to, God, save me. I didn't have no other understanding. I couldn't. The attacks over my life were just so unbearable. I spent 41 years every day begging to be saved. I couldn't ask God for the things of that world, because every time I tried to just operate in it, Believe in it. Be one in it. Somebody was trying to separate me from it, segregate me from it, believed I wasn't worthy enough to have it. That spirit of duality hated me. It competed with me. It tried to destroy me. It made me learn so many lessons and so many tests and not know I was worthy of it. I mean, that spirit had a stronghold on me so tough that I could not spend one day in my life inside of this reality, even believing in myself. Because its only rulership and its only authority is to keep me from who I truly am. But that law of one is universal. It doesn't care anything about these knowledges. It only cares about who it is. I and my Father are one. Life's existence for this kingdom. I and my Father are one. And I never had no other intention. I never had no other motive. The only seed that I can sow was into this kingdom. Every cry, every tear, every prayer, every asking, every need, every want that I ever desired was to be saved. Because every time I came into this world, somebody that does not want me to be there. And to be honest, they were saving me. They were keeping me hidden by rejecting me, by ruling and controlling me. They were keeping me spiritually in my own covenant, in my own communion, in my own body, risen from the dead. They literally saved my mortality, my immortality, and my eternal right by rejecting me from this world. Do unto others as you want done unto yourself. Because every seed that we sow, it produces a fruit inside of our bloodline. And every time we don't give life back to this body, we turn it into eternal, immortal, and mortal death, which eventually will turn into, my people, you perish, because you made offerings to a reality. But what prophesied you, or what created you, was existence. So you haven't sown a day into your own living right. And the body, genetically, is digressing. And every time you steal, kill, and destroy any body from life's existence, how does that body add another day to your lifespan? Because the body is our evolution. It moves us forward. But if you kill it, it reverses. It moves you backwards. Eventually, what do you think if no more eternity is left inside of you? Immortally, you will start to perish. That spirit will become a prophecy that must fulfill itself. That's what a power and principality is. Remember, it says, your problem is not flesh and blood. Your problem is the powers and principalities. Those are the prophecies that have to be fulfilled on that earth. The beast will walk the fabric of that earth and mark you. Okay? And eventually it'll put its own self under. In that fourth generation, that prophecy becomes your legacy. See, most people, you think a legacy is you owning a record company, or you owning a building, or a word, or a name. A legacy is your mortal, immortal, and eternal right to not ever have this spirit perish. My people, you perish because of lack of this knowledge. Because always in that fourth generation, the prophecy has already been written in you elementally. Cellularly, that book is the fruit that your bloodline will produce in this earth. Though I may have to walk in the valley of the shadow of death, beloveds, I don't fear it. Because although I know spiritually, cellularly, and as a living body, I am in this reality, genetically, I'm not that prophecy that's going to fulfill itself, which means put itself under. I am the one that has been chosen in that fourth generation to leave this world behind. And if I had not returned back as the one who sent me, you wouldn't be guilty of your sins. And many of y'all think that this is me, her, speaking to you right now. That's why you will never believe anything that I'm saying is true. But I'm not her. I'm what lives inside of her. Life's existence. If no one has told you this on this day or any other day, beloveds, unconditional love is the faith of a mustard seed. Undying love is the immunity, or that alive and active, that one law. The law of one. It's the spirit that dwells as life inside of every living body, as that truth, as the one that came since the beginning. And it cannot ever return back onto you void if you are his priest. If you are that transformed in that renewed mind, and if you were the body in which it says, in your mother's womb, I already knew the plans I had for you. That's a prophecy. It's already been written. It cannot return back onto me void if that's truly who I am. And I know that Isaiah 43:10 is just this understanding. Myself returning back onto me is this. And this is the witness of what I am saying. It's even my book. I already knew the plans I was going to have for you. And I knew that this book was going to reveal and become that witness, saith the Lord, that you are my servant and who I have chosen for such a time as this. Have an amazing and beautiful understanding of a truth that set me free from all the bondages, all the captivities and the servitudes and the rulers and the authoritarians of realities that there's no way I could exist in. There's no way I could live in as a body of a cellular elemental God. As a living God, as a living truth, as a living knowledge, who I am cannot exist or live or be fed life's existence in this reality. And to anybody who believed that for me, wanted that for me, or believed I deserved that, thank you. By your fruit, that is how you are known. But by my fruit, I came as life's existence. I've been delivered by life's existence because that's who I am. And I don't reject that knowledge, and I don't reject that truth, because it would not be proclaiming itself. It would not be fulfilling itself. It would not be feeding me the manna from within myself and allowing me to speak it upon this earth, back alive and active in the spirit of truth. Have an amazing day.